even Reckless will improve. You know, if Reckless will have a rival that is completely different than himself with the playstyle, he will improve so much. And that works for the rival as well. And that's been lacking for the past 2 years in Europe.
Hey everyone, this is Darius from Shotcaller, and I'm sitting here with Freeze, who joined the analyst desk this week. Have you enjoyed your stay so far?
It's been a blast.
And of course, the one other time it was in week 4, I believe, when you also joined. That was quite a lot of fun.
I think it might have been week 6, I'm not sure, but really? Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
At the end of the day, it's just numbers. Now, what made you join the analyst desk all of a sudden?
Well, I've just been chatting with the Fisher about different stuff, about teams, life, and so on. And then he eventually just asked me if I would be willing to try casting or analyzing. And I said, sure. Like, I have nothing to do. It's off season. You know, I just play solo queue and that's it. And I've had free time on my hands and I've used it well.
You mentioned on Twitter that you're not committed anymore to only playing solo queue by yourself, that you're considering playing with a support again?
Well, it was just like a little banter because I've decided that I will be rank 1 in solo queue by myself without playing a single duo queue. So, and then every time I play solo queue, I just face dual bot lanes, so like LCS bot lanes, or just challenger bot lanes. And it's a bit hard to win versus them, you know, if you're solo and you have a random support. So it was like, damn, I might reconsider, but nah, I still set up my goal to be rank 1 without duo queue.
Impressive. Holy, okay. Well, good. Best of luck with that for sure. Now you have spent the last year at Tempo Storm and NA in the Challenger series. What were some of the positives and the negatives about your stay there?
Well, I love NA. I love the lifestyle. I love the environment. It's just super nice to be playing there. But the negatives for me would be that, you know, you can't. There's no spotlight on you as a player if you're in Challenger, and that's why I didn't play this split in any Challenger teams, because I just didn't want to do the same error when you're super hardcore focusing on a team and on the improvement of the team and how the team plays instead of focusing on yourself. So instead of that, took a break for 6 months and just focus on myself to improve myself and be ready for next split in LCS.
And of course, you are free agent and you are looking for a starting position in an LCS team, not a Challenger or local team. Are there any teams you're already looking at? Or if you could just choose a team, or like choose 3 teams, which ones would you like to join?
I mean, obviously the best ones are always the most set up ones, you know, like Fnatic, G2, you know, Splice, Vitality. Those teams they have a name, and it's the best for me to play for them because it's just like I could see myself being there for 3 years, you know, and play there in one single team, and that's what I'm looking for.
Same with NA teams?
NA teams, I haven't really paid much attention to NA teams now because I usually just like if I'm in NA, I only watch NA LCS, and then if I'm EU, I watch only EU LCS, so I don't really know about NA.
Okay, so no Echo Fox Freeze that we could expect in the future?
I mean, if there are open import spots in NA, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll
go back.
Yeah,
have some NA money.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Okay, well, we'll be excited about your personal future. Now, you've had an interesting career in some ways because you've, for example, when you played for H2k, then FORG1VEN came in and took your spot in a way, but you still got to go to Worlds as a sub. So
that was one of the hardest parts of my career. Since I finally got in a team that was good after such a long time. Yeah. So I've been always like sort of, I want to be mean, but stuck on a bad team. And I never got to prove myself in a good team. And then once I joined H2k, it finally was a good team, right? And I was just over practicing, I was overhyped. I was playing like 16 hours a day with a proper setup, you know, proper chair and stuff. And I got injured. And at that point, it was so frustrating and so crushing for myself to see a team that I would, like I 100% believe, I would do same, if not better than FORG1VEN. That's what I believe, and I'll believe that. So seeing FORG1VEN coming in and then everyone just praising FORG1VEN, even though like FORG1VEN is a great player, right? But it was more of a team stepping together and playing well together than just this one person that stepped up. And yeah, everyone's just saying, oh, it's forgiven. It's just like 1v9, even though like, and that was so frustrating for me, you know, because like I was like, damn, I would just want to play and prove that I am the player as well.
Yeah, that you can totally step up, and he's not necessarily would be a replacement if it weren't for these circumstances, of course. Yeah, that must have been crushing. And then yeah, Tom Storm was probably fun, but at the end of the day, you didn't make it to NLCS, sadly.
Yeah, well, I've got several offers for LCS, but I've been stuck in a contract, so the teams couldn't buy me out. That was as well frustrating for me. Yeah. But yeah, you just have to roll. It's the part of your job, you know. Sometimes you get stuck in a contract and you can't join LCS even though you would want to, and that's just how the contracts work.
Your personal story, or like you being usually stuck on bad teams and then not always being able to prove yourself. I call it the selfie syndrome in a way, because he had similar issues.
Selfie got on H2k, right?
Now he got there.
Now it's my turn.
Exactly. Yeah. So next split, finally, Freeze, unbench the selfie. That's okay. We got that. Unbench the Freeze as well, and that will be Gucci. What do you think though? Like right now, I felt like for a very long time in EU we had a bit of a lack on the ADC role. We had some greats. We had Reckless, right? And we had Forgiven.
I mean, I've played in the Forgiven era, right? Yeah. So I'm ready. I'm set in stone. But then once Forgiven just stepped down, you know, it went down the hill because there was no one aggressive. Obviously, you have Reckless, who's the idol of AD carries. He's super consistent. He's playing super well. He's considered by many the best in Europe. But then that's one playstyle, you know. You need variety in the playstyles. You need someone that's going to be playing aggressively or just playing to carry, you know, like super hardcore and do aggressive plays, because then even Reckless will improve. You know, if Reckless will have a rival that is completely different than himself with the playstyle, he will improve so much, and that works for the rival as well. And that's been lacking for the past 2 years in Europe, and you can see that on EU AD carries, right? If you look at them, they're all just super consistent. They play super passive. They're trying to wait for the late game, and then once late game hits, they start carrying. Yeah. And there's no different playstyle.
Okay, yeah, interesting words for sure. Now that said though, I feel like compared to last year, EU ADCs have properly stepped up. We've seen some amazing new people join in. Mini Trupax, I think, is convincing. Upset has had an amazing game yesterday. And sometimes even in laning phase, he shows that those sparks of aggressive behavior.
Yeah, for sure. I have to shout out Sheriff, Upset, and Mini Trupax. They've been amazing to watch for me. And then mainly Upset, you know, like I wouldn't give the biggest props to Upset, but for me, Upset, when he plays perfectly, he plays perfectly. You know, like if he has the game, he's insane, and that's like what I want to see. I want to see an insane AD carry that I can learn from. But then there's the issue with consistency that he doesn't do it all the time. But once he has it in him, and then once he steps up and gets it, then it's gonna be nuts.
Can't wait for Super Saiyan Upset at this point.
Upset. Yeah, he colored his hair as well on yellow, so let's go.
Little Gohan kind of aesthetic. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and again, his game yesterday on Caitlyn, that was a thing of beauty. Then again, in terms of consistency, I would expect if Schalke in general as a team becomes more consistent, then he will be more enabled as well. And of course, it's his rookie split, so I know we'll be very excited for those. That's the way, or the reason why I wanted to mention this is though, last year I felt like, okay, you could perfectly fit in at several teams. Now I feel like, damn, which ADC would you kick? Yeah, that's difficult.
For me, it has to be a point of proving myself. You know, I can do that with getting rank 1 alone. That's why I decided to do that. And then I don't really know how else you want to prove yourself in, right? If you would play on a different team, teams don't even care about like second leagues. They don't even look at it. So it's pretty hard to like get in once the AD carries are established. But there are some AD carries that I could already see myself replacing. It's so I am confident in myself. If I keep improving at the pace I am improving right now, then I could definitely be in LCS next split.
Okay, well, we'll be excited about that. Now, that said, do you think that getting rank 1 all by yourself will be such a convincing argument?
Well, for me, I don't care, you know. But like for the teams, for some reason, they care so much about it. Because they're like, oh my God, this 17 years old kid, he's getting rank 1, you know, like he's the talent, he's the new blah. Imagine if I'm old, you know, which is being said, I'm old. Imagine this old dude's getting rank 1, you know, between all these 17 years old kids. Hype, I don't know, maybe. So that's how I see it. Yeah, still got it, you know.
Grandpa is still putting in the work.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. So, yeah, well, I'll be excited about that. I wonder which ADCs you're looking at to take their spots.
Yeah, I can't really say that.
Yeah, no, that would be a bit BM, but
sure.
Yeah, maybe for FORG1VEN 2.0 behavior right there. Nah, just kidding. So you've also played with a couple of supports, and we've seen a resurgence of EU supports this split as well. I feel like Vanda having interesting and good performances. Hylisang really showing, yeah, he's just as good as we always thought, kind of. And of course, Kasing coming back and really stomping as well. That must feel good as well to know that if you were to join a team, you probably have a good support by your side.
Yeah, well, I've even heard Aframu talk about it last split, I think, that Europe has insane supports in terms of super aggressive engages and consistency in those like aggressive plays, because usually in NA, the supports, they're just standing back and they're playing like shield champions and it's like, oh, 80 carry, you know. But here in Europe, we have a lot more playmakers. And, you know, if you see casting on a Rakan or Mikix on a Rakan, they're solo winning a team fight by engaging constantly, then you're like, oh my god, support, they can carry 1v9, you know.
Finally again, yeah. I feel like, yeah, a lot of the NA support, a fair, decent amount of them. For example, Adrian is always known for...
yeah, he's known for that, yeah.
Yeah, well, but Echo Fox are in first place right now, so that's working out for them, I guess. Yep. So
it's the meta now. It fits the meta.
True. We saw Jack Troll on Janna today. That was interesting, even though it didn't work whatsoever.
Yeah, he got caught a bit off guard with the invade, and then, you know, once you die level 1 and you force your own summoner and you still die, it's a tilter.
That's not good. Yeah. So, as the guy who wants to hit rank 1 on EU West, what are the 2 most important tips for solo queue, even for like people in silver and bronze trash?
Well, obviously, it depends where you are in the solo queue, but mastering one champion is very important. You have to have fun with the champions you're trying to master. But then once you get higher and higher, it's more about how many games you play and how consistent you are. Because then eventually, you know, it's a team game. You have like 9 players that will be random, and you don't know if they're be good or bad. But the only factor you can influence is yourself, the one guy. And if you will be constantly, you know, like if I'll be playing super well constantly, I will eventually get lucky to the point where, you know, I will win like 10 games in a row, and then I move through divisions like knife through butter.
Okay, interesting. So I am kind of doing that. I'm silver 5 trash, but I'm basically spamming Varus, and I really enjoy the champion even like before he was changed a bit and stuff. I've been playing him for years. However, a problem, I feel like I perform consistently get first blood, win my lane, get first tower, etc. But even though I seem like a very nice guy, when my Rengar goes 1 in 7, I can be one toxic asshole. How do I stop myself from doing that?
Well, generally, it's best to get different goals throughout the game. You know, if you have a goal, let's say you have 3 goals, you set up 3 goals. First would be like hitting 100 CS in 10 minutes. A second would be like, you know, having this die twice maximum, for example. And third would be like in late game, I would focus on farm. I had 300 CS in 30 minutes. Okay. And if you have early game, mid game, and late game goal, you keep focusing on those goals. You have to focus on those, and you can't focus on like flaming others. You know. Okay. It helps a bit at least.
Yeah, I wish there was a like mute self option, but maybe in the future we'll see. But yeah,
save the chat.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind then. That to set goals for yourself and focus on those instead of the teammates. Is there anything you would like to say to the fans out there and to the ones that are missing you on stage?
I'm still not old enough. You know, I'm still not a grandpa. I'm ready to roll, and I'll prove myself next split.
Okay, quite not grandpa Freeze, and Darius from the Shotcaller. Hope you had a good day. See you then. Hey everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller, and I hope you just enjoyed that interview. This is a generic end card, so make sure to click here for another interview or here for a different interview. And if you want to check out more content, specifically from the NALCS, make sure to visit theshotcaller.net for more interviews and other esports content. Have a good day.